AB 705, what does it mean for college students? Info 244. Hello, my name is Kimberly Sanchez, and this is my final project presentation. So I had 3 clients. One was a new college student, never attended. One was an ongoing college student, second year within their program. And the last was a returning college student with at least 2 semesters done. So my specific project was about AB 705. AB 705 is a new legislation that was passed that changes how oncoming students do remedial courses or how testing is done for placement testing and all those type of things. And so it affects students all across community colleges, but I focused on these 3. So there was 3 different research questions that I got, one from each student. It was pretty interesting to see how it affected them differently. And so the first one was, what is AB 705 and what does it do for community college students? So specifically for the one who had just returned, she had no idea what AB 705 was. She had no idea about the changes that the community college system had just reached. And so then she just wanted a general idea, like, what does it mean for me as a student that is first time enrolling? The second one was for the ongoing student. How does AB 705 affect me when I am already an enrolled student? Because it has to do with remedial courses and like the onboarding process. It really, you do have to think about the ramifications of changing the intro process for students who are already enrolled. And we had to really dive deep into that type of question of what does it mean for me or people who are already like well on their way into college. And the last one, what exactly does AB 705 look at in order to decide what classes entering students should take? Just about, so if you're not doing testing, then what exactly is deciding how these students are placed and what classes these students are taking? So my actual project was based off of qualitative search. So my research data consisted of interviews involving students and staff. And the community college where I currently work had a task force established by our president's office specifically for AB 705 and to talk about the ramifications, how we would kind of roll it out to our students, how certain classes would be changed. Different departments, depending, English and math had their own versions, and then all of that information. And then some data was directly from the community college FAQ information. And so then the actual district has specific information that they needed to, like, according to the government, they needed to relay to students. And so that was another good source of information besides just general research data from ProQuest Dialogue. So the actual project. So what does AB 705 do for students? So the first thing was incoming students no longer have to take placement tests. That was the big thing, that now you do not have to do a placement test to decide you are this level in math or you are this level in English. Remedial courses are now optional instead of mandatory upon entering community college. So let's say before, if you would have come in like 2 years ago, you would have, and you were a student that had just graduated high school, you would have to take a placement test and then it would give you a score. And then depending on how you scored, you would have to take this specific courses. Let's say you did bad in math, but you did okay in English. Well, you would have to take remedial math and then pass however many levels you had to get to college level and then begin actual college level. And none of the remedial courses would count towards transfer or anything. It was just wasted time that you had to kind of catch up. And so it would hinder some students who just weren't the greatest at math or weren't the greatest at English per se. And so then they would just get stuck in these remedial courses, even though there was a time frame that they had to pass them in order to kind of advance. So it created a big issue. And with this passing of AB 705, it is trying to force these students to excel. So all students are allowed access to college level courses in congruence with high school transcripts and self-reporting. So the requirements now are that you no longer have to take a placement test. They look at your high school transcripts or they look at what you report on your actual application. So let's say you say, I am at this level of math on my application, then they would accept that you believe that you are at this level, and then you would enter into college level classes. So this is specifically so some changes that have been made were, now it isn't just the class itself. Now there is congruent support classes so that students are helped to excel. They're not just throwing you into this class on the assumption that you're going to fail. No, you're going to go to this class, you're going to get after school maybe tutoring, and then there's actual SIs in the classroom, and then there's also a congruent course that you can take in order to pass. And so all of these things are just the additional assistant measures that they put into place so that these students can pass. And then for ongoing students, it will help. For some ongoing students, it is a help, because if they're stuck on these remedial courses, then this is their chance to kind of go to the next level. Because a lot of the arguments were that, oh, you might not be good at this level of math, but you could pass statistics. So let's say you can't pass algebra, but you can pass statistics. Statistics is college level math. And so then you're not stuck in this algebra course over and over and over again trying to pass, because the college level ready course you are able to pass. And so it's just helping students to get where they need to go. And that was the main reason for the passing of the law. For some ongoing students, it comes too late. So some students, they wish that it could have occurred before their time, because now they have already like toiled and tried through those classes, and it's not really helpful for them anymore because they already completed those general education requirements. It was really interesting to see like all of the different parts to this and how it affects different students, how each student can kind of use this to their best advantage if they're ongoing or if they're new or if they're returning. It really is a helpful measure for all of them. It's pretty interesting to see how just like a small change in a law can change like the course of many students' lives in community college, especially as college students ourselves. And I thought this was just a very interesting project to do. And thank you. Hope you guys all had a great semester.